Oh, hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, depending on which part of this oft beleaguered country that you're in. I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. You're watching Rebel Roundup, but it is Wednesday, and that means that it is Western Wednesdays here on the Roundup, and that also means that we are hosting the Buffalo panel, where we bring in a panel of people who I believe are experts on issues facing Western Canadians. The show today, as they say, is a banger, as the kids say. But before we do that, I'm going to quickly get the nuts and bolts of the show out of the way. If you're watching us on Rumble, excellent free speech platform. You want to support the work that we do out of the goodness of your heart instead of government mandatory extortion, you can leave a Rumble rant over there. It's a good way to support us and to have your say if it's over the $5 US cutoff. We are hereby reading it on air. If it's under that, we'll do our very best, time permitting. If you're watching us on YouTube, same rules apply, but there's an additional way to support our work, and that is by way of a super thanks. And that is the paid comment over there. The paid chat is called a super chat. So those are the rules. Let us know what you think. Let me bring in our panelists. So our panelists are, of course, Lee Smurl. Oh, I'm on the wrong side of the screen, Efron. I'm disoriented. Our regular Wednesday co-host, my real-life best friend from Regina, Saskatchewan, Lee Smurl. Lee, how's it going?
Good morning. Oh, it couldn't be going better. Thanks so much for asking, Sheila.
And then my friend, my colleague over at our early morning project, Alberta Fact Check, and host and columnist over at the Western Standard, Corey Morgan. Corey, how's it going?
Very good. A little tired, though. Those morning fact checks, I'm still getting used to it.
Yeah, I do those morning fact checks, and then another project that I gave myself for some reason. I've got to stop having good ideas, called Justice Watch. So I do that also early in the morning. I'm like, you know what? What's the difference between 5 and 4:30?
An hour.
Get so much done in that time.
Yes. Oh, and I do. And I do. So, of course, the tariff issue is terrorizing the political class of this country. I think we all knew it was coming, just like the first round of tariffs, and then the next round of tariffs, and then the tariff threats, and then more tariff threats. And then we knew Trump was going to do this when he got elected. He told us what the issues were. And then we didn't do anything about it, really. And we've got this video from Trump saying that Canadians, at least economically speaking, do need the Americans to survive. And I think that is absolutely true.
One, are those a response to the wildfires?
No. That's separate. We're looking at that separately.
And what is there anything?
It's only a response to the way they've treated our farmers and our people. Yeah, Canada's been very, very tough on us over the years, for many years, and no other president's done anything about it. I love Canada. I love the people of Canada. Many friends that live in Canada, but their leadership, from Trudeau to the current leadership. I mean, in all fairness to them, they need us to survive. Without us, there's no way they can survive. So, but they've been very, very tough over a period of the last 50 years, actually.
Wherever you stand on the tariff issue, one thing does remain true. Economically speaking, we do need the Americans to survive. 90% of Alberta's exports go to the United States. Now, the majority of those exports, of course, are like agricultural products and oil and gas. Now, energy has escaped this round of tariffs, which is good, but I think that's owing in no small part to the less than belligerent approach that Western Canadian premiers have taken with the Americans. But just the sheer size of their economy and how interconnected our economies are, he's right. Economically speaking, we don't really survive without them. I'll go to Corey.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate reality, whether we like it or not. Part of it, too, if people don't like that economic dependence, maybe they should do something like get a pipeline to a coast. I mean, we could reduce those sorts of things. In the meantime, though, whether you like Trump or not, and the way he negotiates and pressures and twists, they insist on dying of the hill of supply management. It gives him low-hanging fruit to keep beating us over the head with, because it's a Soviet-style, nasty, subsidized policy that protects the dairy market in Canada, and he's going to keep using that. I mean, if you get rid of supply management, perhaps Trump will find something else to come after. Who knows? But as long as that's hanging there, he's going to keep using that as another reason to put more tariffs on, and as well, years of antagonizing him. I mean, this is not a man that reacts well to that sort of critique, and they insist on that sort of approach with him. The prime minister, in so many areas where he's shown himself to be pretty much all talk and no results, on the trade front, has just been doing terribly so far. He's it's just a mess.
Yeah, and on the supply management issue, it is something that can be dismantled. Australia ended it, New Zealand ended it, the EU ended it, the United Kingdom ended it. There are countries, most of them within the Commonwealth, who have ended supply management. We can do it too, especially if this one thing, and it's not one thing, it's a few different things, but this is a huge sticking point with Trump. It would be an olive branch to the Americans if we said, okay, we're committed to going down the road of ending supply management. It's good for American producers and Canadian consumers.
It shows that we're interested in reciprocity in a trade deal with our nearest and most important trade partner. And I would say, just backing up to something Corey said, it might be an unfortunate reality that we're always going to have this relationship with the States. I think it's a fortunate reality that we have the world's biggest customer right on our doorstep, and that we can do a lot of business with them across the board, but not with the current government supply chain structure in place. The United States has not been nebulous about this. They've said Canadian protectionism is harming American sectors and not allowing American sectors to grow as fast as they could. So this is a hindrance to everybody. And it would be great if our government would be a little bit more responsive to the direction of the guy that's going to make the decision to make a deal for us or not. It'd be great.
Right. And we talked about food inflation on the show yesterday. Canadians are being absolutely hammered by food inflation. Why wouldn't we want more access to affordable food staples? Why wouldn't we want that? I guess to protect industries in Ontario and Quebec, but that has been the story of this government. Protecting industries in Ontario and Quebec, many of them either protected by protectionist policies or heavy subsidies, as the case with the auto sector, to the detriment of the West. And if Doug Ford had his way, the detriment, a lot of that burden would be carried by the West. He's mused about limiting potash, as if he has any of that, or oil and gas to the United States in retaliation. We've got, we described Doug Ford before we came on air as the Todd Packer to Mark Carney's Michael Scott, and Fat Trudeau was at it again. Doug Ford says it's time for all provinces to stand together against Trump and the U.S. And that's a direct shot across the bow, I think, at Scott Moe and Danielle Smith.
It sure was.
It can't always be Ontario. It has to be a Team Canada approach. And that's my message to my great friends, my premier friends, that we have to be united. As I always say, united we stand, divided we fall. Okay, who's not carrying their weight? It just seems like Ontario is always out there, no matter if it's electricity or if it's alcohol or anything else. In manufacturing, Ontario's getting hurt the most in these tariffs. Right across the... No,
why, Doug? Why?
Alcohol ban. This is a broader issue of tariffs right across the board. You know, he wants to continue threatening, and he's nothing but a bully. That's all he is. And you have to stand up to the bullies in the schoolyard, or they end up taking your lunch money. And we are going to continue. We are going to continue fighting like we've never fought before. It can't.
That's something Todd Packer would say.
Yeah, that is such a Todd Packer speech. He's blaming Alberta and Saskatchewan for not being antagonistic enough
Yep.
and not throwing our jobs on his Trump derangement bonfire, which
And
is a
and
crazy thing to say.
insinuating that if you don't fight, then you're not a good guy. And it's like, nobody wants to get in bed with you, Doug. Nobody wants to get in bed with the direction that you've been taking this relationship with the United States. Sorry, Corey Morgan, go ahead.
Oh, it's quite all right. It just seems, if I recall, when we're talking about carrying weight, that Ontario's been a net recipient of equalization lately.
Thank you.
He should be a little more grateful for us carrying his rotund ass for as long as we have been so long. And then to threaten the very industries that are buttering his toast over there, which are potash and agriculture and oil and gas. Maybe he should be learning from the West rather than threatening them and our industries. The man is something unreal over there.
Yeah.
Disconnected from reality, it seems.
Yeah. To say that his industries are being hammered, it's true. But many of them are heavily subsidized. As I said before, I showed the clip. Billions and billions of dollars poured into Ontario electric vehicle plants for cars that nobody wants, and then protectionist policies against Chinese EVs, which resulted in canola tariffs that Western farmers paid for. Now he wants Western oil and gas jobs sacrificed on this mess. This is why there are Western separatists, because Doug Ford out there is saying, throw your jobs in the mess with ours, because I can't shut my mouth. Your province should pay the price. Danielle Smith, one of the first things she did when Trump was elected was go and talk to the Republicans, differentiating herself from the rest of these Looney Tunes. And it has by and large spared us from the worst of this. A lot of Trump's foreign policy, as I said yesterday on the show, is, does he like you? Does he not like you? A lot of it is a personal affection or dislike of you. So maybe make yourself a little bit more likable. But and swallow your pride, swallow your ego for the sake of Ontario workers, but he just won't do it. He's trying to save his own job while sacrificing everybody else's.
Yep.
Well, that's it. You just got to understand just the relationship and the size. I mean, when you're tough talking like Ford has been, we're going to take you down, and provocative statements like that. As we said, I mean, it's a massive trading market. And Lisa was right. We're blessed to be next to it. I just think we'd be stronger if we had a more diverse export market.
Sure.
But we got to recognize realities. This is a Chihuahua chirping at a pit bull. You got to get along. You're not getting away with threatening because you don't have the leverage to do it.
Yes. Well, we've got Wob Canoe weighing in. But in this instance, he's asked if he supports a pipeline from Alberta to Sarnia, which would pass directly through Manitoba. He says he loves us. Of course he should. We're paying the bills over there. Let's watch.
Do you support a pipeline from Alberta to Sarnia, Ontario?
I'm open to it. I love Alberta. I love Albertans. So willing to entertain the idea.
Are you talking to Smith?
Entertain?
Entertain.
Well, I'm sure we will. Yeah, we have been, talking over the past number of months. Been talking to Indigenous leaders in Manitoba, talking to average Manitobans. On the one hand, there's always the questions that get asked about major projects these days. On the other hand, having spent a few days in Portage la Prairie, Manitoba last week, I can tell you there's probably a lot of people who'd like to work on a pipeline. So I'm open to it, and if it's going to make Canada stronger, great. But of course, we want to see things done in the right way. We want Indigenous governments on side. We want workers taken care of. We want the environmental concerns all looked after. So, those will be the conversations we have.
You sound a bit more open to it than you were when they initially proposed it. Has something changed, or have you thought?
I think I'm giving you the exact same line.
Oh, okay.
I think I said literally verbatim. I'm open to it.
A bit more stern, I thought.
Oh yeah. Well, now we're reading into tone, so there we go.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
You know what I think it is? He saw BC getting a share of the royalties, and now he's like, oh, I can do that too. I think that's what's up here. Corey, go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll entertain the idea.
Thank you.
What does that even mean?
So much.
Are we a federation or not?
Right.
And constitutional authority actually says it's not up to you to entertain the idea. You will be consulted and it will happen. But thanks to the precedent set by, again, our weak prime minister, and I admit our weak premier in Alberta lately, giving basically extortion fees to British Columbia to manage to get a pipeline through that should have been granted, I guess, you embolden somebody like Wob Kinnew to say, yeah, well, let's see. How are you going to grease our hands to get this piece of vital infrastructure across a province when never should that have been there? Again, it just feeds the independence movement because more and more people start saying, you know what? What's the point? What's the point? We might as well be fully separate because we're treating it like that when we give full provincial authority to extort on putting products across their provinces.
Please go ahead.
Well, and then immediately after saying, we'll we'd be willing to entertain it, he goes on to describe Manitobans as Indigenous and average. So just think about that for a second and how Wob Kinnew groups people in Manitoba, citizens in Manitoba. He groups them as Indigenous and then as average. I just don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, and he already admits the benefit of a pipeline. He already says, it's going to create jobs for, what was the town that he was talking about? Portage Prairie. He already admits that there's jobs and benefits to Manitobans in building this pipeline, but surely that won't be enough. We'll have to grease his palms, just like the feds are doing and Daniel Smith is doing.
There's going to be more layers of consultations than we can even fathom.
Yeah.
Because that's how that's done for years and years and years and years and years.
Efron, I'm going to skip over that Scott Moe clip because we reacted to it yesterday and continue on with Wob Kinnew, because while he sounded somewhat reasonable there, I believe he has dollar signs in his eyes. He was asked about taking American booze off Liquor Mart shelves in Manitoba. So let's watch that. Oh, no, we're not watching. I'm reading. Sorry. He says taking booze off the Liquor Mart shelves is having an impact. Yeah, that is true. If Trump wants to negotiate an end to the trade war he started, we're happy to get a fair deal. Until then, the U.S. booze stays off the shelves. Thank you for buying, and thank you for your attention to this message. It is having an impact, just not a positive one. It is purposefully incendiary in these trade negotiations, which has devolved into a trade war at this point. Trump specifically said this is a trade irritant. So what are they doing? Continuing to scratch at the wound. And I just think this is unnecessarily inflammatory, and I think it's going to have more repercussions coming, I believe. Corey, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, the term is right. It's an irritant. I mean, it's a symbolic way to push back, and all it's doing is annoying the man south of the border. It's not having any serious impact on their economy down there, and maybe annoying some domestic consumers who enjoy a good bourbon or California wine now and then as well. It's, they've got to think harder. How, Doug Ford, Wob Kinnew, again, doing their little part to make things worse, and yet refusing to look at Alberta and Saskatchewan, where our industries have been shielded by this. Maybe it's time they started to wonder why. And it might serve them a little better rather than taking on symbolic idiocy like Doug Ford tipping over bottles of liquor or taking them off shelves.
Yeah. It's so petty. It's petty retaliation. Yeah. It's not even smart retaliation.
No.
Because, locking up U.S. liquor in the United States isn't going to put a dent in their economy. It's just not. Like, it's such a stupid thing, while also punishing Canadians by limiting their choice and raising their prices. It's so dumb. They should immediately back away from this strategy that they've been employing. And I hope that Canadians are able to see through it.
I know it's in the second segment, Efron, but I just want to skip ahead to this while we still have Corey. Couple of things. The video of political activist, I might suggest alleged criminal at this point, Michaela Knox, brandishing a pro-independence lawn sign that she has defaced in a new promo. Is this the fascist pancakes girl?
It is the
Oh,
same nutcase.
okay, let's watch her TikTok, which will hopefully be used against her in a court of law.
It's your girl Michaela here at the fascist headquarters. A reminder to vote no on the referendum. It's your girl Michaela here at the fascist headquarters.
Whose lawn sign is that?
Yep.
I think it's the Women's Independence Network, but I'm not 100%.
Of course. Wow. Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't look like one of yours.
No,
And it
definitely
doesn't
not.
look like one of Keith's. It's a little wordy for a lawn sign, ladies, if you're watching. But yeah, now she's got a lawn sign, which she likely snatched off someone's lawn, or obtained under false pretenses. And it is illegal to deface these lawn signs, and she's got vote no scratched all over it, and she's the one that was taken away from the premier's pancake breakfast for saying F your fascist pancakes, and then the entire NDP brain trust thought that that was the cutest thing they'd ever seen, and now they've got cups and other nonsense. But this is the problem with Elections Alberta right now, is that they don't seem to be doing anything about keeping this thing fair. Corey?
No, I mean, it's theoretically a pretty serious crime to mess with election advertising, signage, things like that. Admittedly, it'd be difficult for them to fully chase her down and charge and convict. I mean, she could say she got it at an event and then fight on free expression and whatnot. But it just shows how petty and pathetic the opponents are at this point. The bigger issue for Elections Alberta, of course, is their double standard when it comes to Thomas Lukaszik's Forever Canadian campaign, which has been operating very largely and without any transparency or scrutiny. The Elections Alberta is losing so much credibility in the province right now over these issues, and that will reduce the credibility of elections and referenda in the future. It's very serious.
Yes. As I said on the show yesterday, when we were in Lethbridge, I saw you in Okotoks, Corey, and that was really nice of you to come out. But when we went to Lethbridge, the Forever Canada people thought that they would disrupt our event, our lawn sign handing out, by being in the exact same parking lot, in the exact same city, at the exact same time, doing the exact same activity as me. But one of us is fully compliant with Elections Alberta and the other side isn't. And it's just shamelessly rubbing it in everybody's faces, where they're saying we can take money from anywhere, outside the province, whatever, who cares? And we have to be fully compliant and constantly reporting to Elections Alberta. Otherwise, we're going to get in a world of trouble. And they just are, it's not just enough for them to flout the rules. They are quite literally rubbing the flouting of the rules in our faces.
Sure. Well, and the video, going back to the video, that's just evidence of this, right? Like, it is an intolerance for political expression outside of their own narrow worldview. Like, they really, I think, view us as a threat. They really view us as a threat. However, all of this, well, I just want to assure you both who are going through it right now with these lunatics in Alberta, that the truth always comes out in the wash. Like, it always comes out in the wash. So, let them pull their little stunts and let them pull their little tricks. It'll the good side and the truth always wins. So
I wanted to before we have to let Corey go back to his real job, he's just on loan for us right now. Separatist site offers donors a piece of the Republic of Alberta. And this is from the Tyee, which is, of course, a left-wing rag. Oh, I didn't realize you wrote this. It's Charles Rusnell.
Yeah.
He used to, who did he used to write for, the Journal?
CBC, I think he was.
Oh, yes, CBC. And he was a real piece of work back in the Wild Rose days. Separatist site offers donors a piece of the Republic of Alberta for a $1,000 contribution. A consortium seems to promise land and citizenship opportunities. He found an expert, as they always do, to say that it is unethical. I think this is just like a fundraising gimmick, the way you can buy a star.
Oh, you can become a lord or a lady in Scotland the same way. This is a marketing scheme, but these guys are losing their minds about it. It seems, my goodness.
Yeah, and I don't know. Anyway, Corey, what do you think?
I don't know. It's just an unusual thing. I glanced at that and didn't see the details. It is a strange sort of way to raise funds, but whether or not it's problematic or illegal or anything, I couldn't say. I don't see evidence of that. But I mean, if that's what the Tyee can find for a scoop, I guess, that's the best they can do. So, Godspeed.
Russ Snow has sure fallen.
Imagine though, if you actually did buy your square foot of Alberta, like through this, and then you struck oil on it. Okay, that would make that $1,000 contribution look like a really good investment. So I just love clever little ploys to get people's attention, and that's one of them.
If I sell people small portions of my lawn, would they cut it for me? You know what I mean? Like, instead of me spending the afternoon on Saturday cutting 3.5 acres of lawn, I think this is a kind of a clever scheme. But I love to see the other side concerned about how people are raising money while there's just a fight all over it at Forever Canada. Like, could we maybe talk about that?
Well, that follows Russell's pattern, though. As you said, back in the Wildrose days, he used to dedicate a lot of time to making sure the opposition was held to account.
Right.
And at this point, he's picking at this relatively minor third-party advertiser, whilst totally overlooking, again, Luke Hasek. One of the hammers they like using against the independence movement is saying it's foreign funded, it's foreign backed, it's foreign controlled. Well, we're following all the transparency rules. If we're getting foreign backing, we have to hide it really carefully. I don't know how we're managing to, but there could be $1 million a month going into Luke Hasek's thing, and we don't have any way of finding out. But Mr. Russell doesn't appear to have time to look into Mr. Luke Hasek's organization for some reason.
Yes, he's worried about people buying stars and becoming lords and ladies and buying a square foot on the moon.
Yeah.
Anyways, great story, Charles. Great story.
Good one.
Yeah. Thanks. Riveting. We've got to let Corey get back to his real job. Corey, let people know how they can find your work and support your third-party advertiser. I could not believe the sheer volume of signs that Corey has on Highway 7 from Calgary to Okotoks, or actually Diamond Valley, to be entirely accurate. Every big farm has a big sign on it. Amazing. It's shocking. Downtown Diamond Valley, everywhere I went, businesses had his signs. So great work, Corey.
Yeah, thanks. Don and Pat have been working like crazy down in southern Alberta. We're well represented in the rural areas. My TPA is simply found at corymorgan.com and getting that signage out there. And the rest of my work, for the most part, is found at westernstandard.news.
And albertafactcheck.com.
Yes, of course, that one. See, I got up too early to remember all those things.
I know.
Albertafactcheck.com, my other real job.
Yeah, I'm missing chunks of my memory from being up too early. I have black spots in my brain right now. Corey, thanks so much. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning, approximately 5:15. Thank you.
Always good to chat with you guys.
Okay, let's hit an ad break. We'll be back on the other side.
For generations, many Canadians have preserved more than just firearms. They've preserved history, tradition, competition, memories. But under Trudeau, and now Carney, heirlooms, estates, collectibles, and competition firearms now have to be surrendered and destroyed. While violent gun criminals get pass after pass, openly ignoring any legislation, lawful gun owners are trapped in an increasingly unfair legal system. But we can help. Canada's National Firearms Association's Save Firearms program offers the legal pathway to preserve what matters, while we work towards a political solution. Don't let yours be next. Save history. Save heritage. Save firearms. Visit nfa.ca today to learn more.
In Canada, firearms owners like me understand the importance of safe, effective self-defense options. That's why we're proud to have Byrna as a sponsor. Byrna's less lethal launchers are designed to help protect you and your family without taking a life. Byrna offers peace of mind, accessibility, and a practical layer of personal security for Canadians who value safety. Learn more at byrna.ca/rebel. That's byrna.ca/rebel.
Canada's been told to just quit smoking for decades, same message over and over, and yet millions of Canadians still smoke. So let's ask a follow-up question. For those who don't quit, what about change? In 2026, Canada has options that didn't exist years ago. Smoke-free alternatives for adults who would otherwise continue smoking. That doesn't mean risk-free, it means informed choice. If you don't smoke, don't start. If you smoke, quit. But for those who don't quit, change could still be part of the conversation. That's why Canadians should check out unsmoke.ca, an information resource focused on smoke-free alternatives and honest facts, not judgment. Put the lighter down, Canada. Learn what.
Do you have pride fatigue? Are you exhausted by the thought of another Pride season force-feeding rainbows down our throats like it's mandatory? If so, I'm Lise Merle from Rebel News, and I'd like you to meet Buck the Rainbow Unicorn, my 3-time Amazon best-selling children's book that stormed to the #1 spot on Amazon's global hot new releases in the wild 2 weeks before Christmas. And I'm just wondering, would it be possible to keep him trotting up the charts? You see, Buck is convinced that he's a rainbow unicorn. From his lustrous mane and sparkling feet, he's a full drama queen. Until one day, a wise little girl and his family gently break it to him that he's actually not a rainbow unicorn, but a perfectly healthy horse. The reviews for Buck the Rainbow Unicorn are unreal. This is a must-read for all children. Well done. A wonderful take on a currently twisted topic in today's society, and a refreshing message for kids. A heartwarming, laugh-out-loud rhyming story about honesty, imagination, and self-acceptance. This Pride season, skip the fetish parades and instead share the gift of truth, love, and prairie pride. Visit bucktherainbowunicorn.com to order your copy today. Thanks.
All right, we're back. Where do we want to start? Let's start at something bad. Failed government policy.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the absurd. This from the Fraser Institute. 30 years of climate policy to shift us away from fossil fuels, and all of those gajillions of dollars in subsidies, electric vehicle mandates, phasing out coal in Ontario, effectively phasing it out in Alberta. Yep. This is what has happened. Despite government spending and regulations on green energy transitions, fossil fuels still accounted for 76.3% of Canada's domestic energy consumption in 2024, compared to 76.8 in 1995. So it's down half a percentage point. All that money for nothing. And what did it do in the end? Blocked pipelines.
Yes.
Made Canadians poorer.
It's economic self-harm.
Yeah.
Adopting wild, crazy, green, eco-sustainable energy policy is a recipe for economic self-harm. That is what we're seeing here. And yet our government is still committed, just absolutely committed, to developing a whole new economy based on it. When it's shown it doesn't work. So why are we beating a dead horse on ecological targets when it shows it doesn't matter?
Right. This is proven to make our food cost more, our houses cost more, our transportation costs more, our heating costs more. Everything costs more for a half a percentage point of moving away, phasing out fossil fuels. It's done absolutely nothing. And you know why? Because you can regulate anything you want out of existence, but reliability always wins the day.
Reliable, and we know this, reliable and affordable energy comes from Canadian oil and gas. The end.
The end. And coal. Let's put coal back in the mix.
Okay.
Yeah. UCP, you passed a policy resolution to put coal back in the mix, put her back online. Yeah. Help the people of Hannah, help the people of Grand Cache, put it back online.
Yeah, Estevan, Saskatchewan, big coal town.
Yep. Okay. And then let's go to the absurd. This from our friends at Blacklocks. CBC is going to be a federal fact checker.
Okay. That's
this from Blacklocks.
We should look forward to this.
CBC will use its record funding this year. Remember that when you're paying more at the grocery store. To combat disinformation, says the Department of Heritage briefing note. Broadcast executives to date have declined to tell the budget office or the public specifically what measures it contemplates. The government is exploring options to modernize CBC's mandate. They should modernize it into the garbage can. The April 13 note called Reinforcing CBC. Options include combating misinformation. And they're going to do that with an additional $150 million, bringing its parliamentary grant. Now, this is not exclusive advertising contracts or anything like that, to $1.6 billion. And they're going to fully equip CBC to combat disinformation. But here's the problem. As with every good horror movie, that phone call is coming from inside the house, CBC. They are the biggest peddlers of disinformation you can find in mainstream media.
I was just like, imagine the relationship dynamics inside the CBC when they hire a whole bunch of people to tell the people working at the CBC that they have lied to the Canadian public. Imagine how that's going to go down. I can't wait for the ombudsman complaints or for the HR complaints to come streaming in.
Yes. Let us not forget that CBC did not provide an on-air correction during the leaders' debates, which were some of the worst workplace harassment that I have ever experienced in my life. And I used to work in food service as a young lady. So you can imagine when Rosie Barton, old flagship Rosie, said that Drea Humphrey was spreading disinformation when Drea said that no bodies were found at the Kamloops Indian Residential School. And instead of course, giving us the right of reply, which is responsible journalism, they called the cops on us, although it may have had something to do with Ezra also offering Rosie to join the fat challenge that Ezra was currently on. And you know what? Let's show this clip.
Such an Ezra moment.
It's such an Ezra moment. Anyways, he thought that she was eating her feelings, which is probably true. Do we want to show that clip of Rosie Barton?
Oh, please.
Please, accusing Drea Humphrey, who has made a documentary on the Kamloops Indian Residential School.
Yes.
And the Kamloops Indian Residential School band themselves have said that no bodies have been found. Now, they don't deny that there are bodies there. They just say that they haven't found any, which is true. Let's show Rosie. Let's show the new Fed fact checker at work.
Be conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, but I think we have to sort of address the elephant in the room. How are these people chosen to answer these questions? And I don't know if either one of you have an answer for that, but I think there will be people at home saying, some of these seem like odd questions. Some of them aren't getting answered. How come we've heard so often from this one particular outlet? Any idea what's going on there?
There's three right-wing, very right-wing media, we can call them media, websites that are present in there. They get in line to ask a question like anybody else. Their accreditation has been approved by the Commission of Debates, and so they get the right to stand in line and ask a question that they choose to ask. In this case, you saw Mr. Singh, and this has been his position for some time, to refuse to answer questions. Rebel News in particular traffics in misinformation, facts, lack of facts, and as you heard in that question, which was woven with some truth and some things that weren't true. Yes, there have been burnings of Christian Catholic churches. Yes, there have been remains of Indigenous children found in various places around the country, which she misrepresented. We'll see if Mr. Poilievre gets any questions from right-wing organizations. I would suspect no.
Hello, Mr. Singh.
Oh, we don't want to watch Jagmeet Singh. No. This is the moment that Drea Humphrey and Alexa Lavoie ushered Jagmeet Singh off into his plush retirement. This is the moment, you guys. We were watching it live. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna just drop this in the chat here, Efron, about what really happened because CBC had to issue a correction. Now, usually when you make a mistake, you have to, I know at Rebel News, if we uh, not necessarily get a fact wrong, but because we're pretty careful about that, but if we need to add additional editor's notes to it, we don't do it at the bottom of the article. We do it actually at the top. It'll say very prominently right under the headline. I will put an editor's note in there saying, post publication, this is, the comment or an update to the story is this, blah, 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 blah. You do it prominently because if you made an omission or a mistake prominently, you have to correct it in the same manner that you made it. So it should have been made on air, but CBC had to issue a correction and they put it on this very obscure web page on CBC that nobody reads.
Right.
The CBC correction read, on April 16th, during a live broadcast following the French language federal election leaders debate on CBC News Network, Chief Political Correspondent Rosemary Barton said, yes, there have been remains of Indigenous children found in various places across the country. As CBC reported on multiple occasions, what several Indigenous communities across Canada have discovered on the sites of some former residential schools are potential burial sites or unmarked graves. So she said with absolute certainty that Rebel News is peddling in misinformation.
That we are very right-wing, labeling us.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Rosemary knows this, but yeah, we get, conservative media has been in the crosshairs of violent left-wing extremists. I mean, it's so irresponsible. It's so irresponsible.
Yeah. But anyways, meet your new federal fact checker. You gave him $150 million of your money to tell you what the truth is.
Can't wait to shame them on this program in the very near future with that label. I mean, but just Sheila, just ask yourself, what happened to the last high-profile fact checker in Canada's political community? Rachel Gilmore is doing great.
I think she blamed climate change caused by Alberta for why the rain ruined her hair. And I'm not even exaggerating.
Yeah, that's a true
Didn't
story.
realize I could blame my unmanageable hair on the oil and gas sector.
She tried to do that. So anyway, we're gonna try and replicate that winning strategy over at the CBC, and it'll be just great for us, you guys. I promise.
Just think of the content. Think of it.
So good.
Speaking of the Kamloops Indian Residential School, the chief over there says the probe into possible unmarked graves continues with no end in sight. Why is there no end? Because the probe doesn't involve shovels. 24-hour security is in place in case anybody gets any pesky ideas about getting a shovel.
No.
5 years. 5 years. And they haven't disturbed the ground. But that's okay because that guy said that he got messages in dreams.
Sheila, listen, I'm not mad that he said that at all because this opens the door for me to go with a Ouija board, park my van outside of the Kamloops Residential School and just see who comes through. Okay, if we're saying that the spirits come and tell people accurate stories, well, then I should be able to do that too. So you guys can contribute to my Ouija board van life tour of Kamloops by going to Rebel Investigates. Okay. We'll get to the bottom of this.
I'll grab my trailer. I'll join you. I'll bring my dowsing rods. I'll be walking around like this, waiting for them to cross. And we'll just see what comes through.
I'm going to bring a cauldron, a long drapey dress, and we are just going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to say, is anybody there? And it's going to spell out septic field.
Right. And look, I do not dispute the supernatural. I don't. I'm Catholic. You have to realize that you live in a supernatural world.
Realm. Yes,
absolutely. But at the same time, I don't believe that that's all the evidence that you need to accuse people of murder and genocide. I feel like maybe something did come to you in a dream. I don't dispute that. But I think you might want to pick up a shovel just to make sure that the spirit was telling you the right thing. Because 5 years later, 5 years after these accusations that resulted in the burning and vandalism of 100 or so churches, many of them Catholic, many of them Indigenous churches themselves, the cultural hub and spiritual hub of many religious Indigenous communities were burned or vandalized. They haven't done anything. They say, according to CBC, found more than 200 possible unmarked graves at the site of the former Kamloops Indian Residential School. The chief says the community doesn't know yet if or when it will proceed with excavation.
You know, you have to wonder why, though, because if they genuinely believe that their family members and community members are in a mass grave
Unmarked
formation,
grave.
Why would you not want to excavate, like gently excavate, to give them a proper burial, identification, and a proper send-off? Why would you not want to do that if you don't know? If you don't know. But there's a reason why they don't want to know. It's because there's an open faucet of money flowing into every community that claimed this. And well, that's the motivation.
And look at this. They were given money specifically for excavation and remains repatriation. Okay?
Well,
so why aren't you doing any of that? What happened to the money? They said, this is a sacred site, and they put up 24-hour security because somebody showed up with a shovel. So they've been given nearly $300 million in funding to 166 Indigenous-led projects around this topic. The money is supposed to be used for research, field investigations, identification of remains, and repatriation. People are exhumed all the time. To prove or disprove a crime. Cemeteries also are a sacred site. But if you know what, I don't want to reveal my lack of knowledge on Indigenous cultural practices, but if a crime has happened, it behooves them to stop just accusing and prove it.
Yep, it sure does.
Yes. Where do we want to go from here? Let's do this one. Liberal activists destroyed a Christian preacher's anti-abortion signs in Alberta. Police took the complaint seriously, and those involved are now facing charges.
Wonder if they're hate crimes.
They should be. Let's show this video. These people are so dumb.
Yeah. See this?
I see it.
Is this after the bar? This is... I want to watch it.
I'll back up.
Hey,
Hi.
do you want to debate?
Dad, I mean, sure.
I'm asking you a question. If your daughter was raped and she became pregnant, would you make her have the kid? Would you pressure her to have the kid?
I reject the phrasing, but yes.
Women, I've been raped. Women get raped every fucking day.
Yeah, I know.
So if your daughter gets raped and she gets pregnant, thank fucking God, we're both Roman Catholic.
No, you're not.
Christian.
No, you're not.
We're freaking religious. But if I got pregnant when I was raped, would you want me to have the baby?
Yeah, it's a human being made in the image of God.
You want me to have the baby from a fucking criminal? It's okay. It's not theft. It's $5.
It was like $140 to make those, actually. Can we stop playing in the road now, ma'am?
Okay. See this?
I see it.
This is a woman's choice.
Actually, what you're doing is a crime. I'm gonna...
women's consent.
There are cars coming, and I don't want you to,
How calm
want
these
you to
young
turn
men
and
are.
live, not perish in the middle of the road.
You're not getting this back.
All right.
Cook County.
That's fine, I guess. Be careful. I don't want you to get hurt.
A lot of women actually die from having abortions that are like illegal elsewhere because they're not legalized in the country. Especially women of color and women of poverty lines.
Oh my God.
It's not
Please,
okay to
Chris.
have these kind of signs.
All right.
This is a woman's issue, and you're a man protesting these things. It's not okay.
Oh, you're taking it? I could give you more literature. Oh, no, actually, they fell out of my pocket.
Please don't come close to me.
All right, I'll back up. Well, you're the one who attacked me, so.
My friend? For what? For debating?
Because she stole my stuff.
Debating.
Why are you harassing women?
Yeah.
This
I'm
is
gonna.
sexual harassment.
This is not sexual harassment.
Liberalism is a disease, y'all.
This guy has followed us from the bar, and he's harassing us. We're trying to get in our car and go home. And
They're
that's
being
it.
harassed.
I'm gonna back up. Actually, I don't.
He's talking.
You guys have a history of getting physical, so I'm gonna.
Liberalism is a disease, and these young women have caught it, and they are
just revolting. They assault him, steal his signs, damage his signs, and then accuse him of harassing women.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. Well, that's the pattern that they've been taught to take against men. You know how the breaking of the signs didn't work, the physical antagonism didn't work. And so they accelerate it to the point of a claim of harassment or impropriety or something.
Right.
Girls that are infected with this kind of liberalism are trained to do that. And it's actually really revealing. It's actually really revealing, but soulless and captured and vapid. And I don't think they're going to look back on this because, well, there's record of it forever. They're going to look back on this and think, my God, what a shame I was to myself and my family.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
and they should. And good for that young man who remained intensely calm the entire time. Like completely calm and actually concerned for their safety.
Right, don't get hit by a car.
Yeah, and those girls probably shouldn't have been near the wheel of a vehicle. They shouldn't have had their keys. That was at Cook County. I just wish that they had encountered my very pro-life daughter who goes dancing there once in a while.
This is in Alberta?
At Cook County, yeah.
Oh, this is...
So you can see the kid with the U of A sweatshirt on.
Listen, come get your daughters, Alberta. This is embarrassing. This is arguably embarrassing. Number one, you don't shout your life's most vulnerable moments at people on the street holding a camera.
When you're drunk.
Okay. You don't do that. And then try and make logical arguments.
Yeah.
This is something she says herself. She says herself that she did not get pregnant. And yet she has such a strong opinion on it. This is crazy. Listen, young men of the world, be careful who you take home. All right. Because you just never know who you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Don't run around with women who wouldn't be an appropriate mother for your child.
Right.
This is regrettable.
You just heard what these young women are prioritizing.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I mean, I don't want to have an abortion debate with people, but I think people know where I fall down on the issue. And yeah, I don't believe, I hate that argument, that argument. Well, what if I was raped? Okay. So you're making an innocent baby guilty of the sins of its father. What does that got to do with anything? But whatever.
Yeah. And a very, I mean,
but this is what they're saying. These are the best and brightest of the
they could have
the
had,
other side.
They could have had a lovely and decent and meaningful moment of human connection with the man holding the sign, and they did not. They chose not to. Okay.
Yeah.
They chose to denigrate him and destroy his property, and I'm delighted that they're going to maybe face some consequences for this.
And they should.
Yeah, they absolutely should.
Yeah, don't get sloppy drunk and fight with people on the street, steal their stuff. If we're going to look at the macro issue. Anyway, just gross. So that was bad.
Hey, we're real proud of those boys though. Like that's awesome. Like I love that at the end of the night, somebody was exposed to a good idea. Somebody was exposed to a good idea at the end of the night. Not these girls, okay? They weren't receptive, but other people did, and I'm proud of those boys. Good for them.
Yes, yeah, and conducting themselves with decency,
integrity,
and calm. Yeah,
that's right.
If look, if you're watching and you're the parents of those young men, good for you.
Yep.
You did good.
Good job.
Okay, we got one chat here, and then I have a delight. Sometimes we have the daily cringe. Today's a daily delight. You haven't seen this yet, but if that gave you just a full body skin crawl about the state of young women, I've got something good. Erica Ritz says, sad to see Polyev doing the same elbows up mating ritual as the libs.
An elbows up mating ritual. Yeah. Stop. I won't be able to unsee it now in my head. Thanks for that, buddy.
Why won't he differentiate himself on anything to do with the Americans? Follow Alberta's lead. Sorry. It's true.
It's problematic.
Yeah. Yeah. We never even touched on Efron. Let's just do it real quick. I know I have to film a video as soon as I'm done this. But yeah, would it be nice to say, again, here's my free communications advice. The single longest trading military and cultural relationship in human history, the most successful one, has been the Canadians and the Americans. And the Liberals have destroyed it in 11 years, and they shouldn't be trusted to fix it. That takes Trump out of the equation. That takes everything out of the equation, and it hangs this millstone squarely around the neck of Mark Carney and the Liberals. Take that. Talk about that. Maybe you'll put your elbows down.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. That would be a good idea than being liberal light. You know what I mean? I don't think that conservatives are satisfied being, slightly a blue color and slightly less liberal than the crazy liberals. We want actual conservatism, good messaging, and a party that can attract young people, and that includes women.
Yes. Real quick on the new bridge that's opening in Windsor. Details
the Gordie Howe.
The Gordie Howe Bridge. Details of the deal with the Americans have come out, and Carney bald-faced lied to people about it. So the Prime Minister said any sharing of the toll revenue won't happen with the Americans until all the debt, all of it, Carney reiterated, is repaid. Yet, we learned last night that Carney signed the deal that gives the U.S. 50% of the net bridge and crossing-related revenues for the first 15 fiscal years of bridge operation before any debt repayment, just profit sharing on a bridge that was 100% built with our tax dollars, which is the opposite of what Mark Carney said. He flat out lied to people about it, and he expected it didn't come out. It came out in Bloomberg. Bloomberg broke the story.
Well, if Canadians need another reason to believe that Mark Carney is untrustworthy as it pertains to negotiations with the United States, here it is. Here it is for everybody to see. And how long are we going to be forced to live with this incompetence?
The lying. Just flat out lying to Canadians.
This is just untrustworthy. This is just untrustworthy. Interesting. So we're giving them 50% of the bridge related revenues outside of the initial agreement for 15 years. So this is interesting because this is how public-private partnerships are often negotiated. So the private partner will come in and build it, and then the other side gets the maintenance and the benefit for the first certain set number of years. And so that's what Mark Carney actually did, is he negotiated a deal for us that sees another guy paid for our hard work for the next 15 years. Awesome. Elbows up.
Elbows up. And just flat out lying about it. It's wild. And again, like everything bad that we learned about Justin Trudeau that wasn't broken by independent media, the Americans had to break it.
And here we have it again with Bloomberg.
Yeah, just like blackface. Blackface was broken by, I forget.
Oh, I do too.
Anyways, not New York Times. LA Times?
Post?
Post? That's something.
That'd be one of their stories.
Doesn't matter. It wasn't CBC. Okay, we got one more chat, and then we'll do the Daily Delight. So if you were turned off by young women, Let me help you. There's still good ones out there. Jess and GP gives us 13.99, says, no offense, ladies, but this is why the MGTOW movement exists. That's men going their own way. They sort of reject relationships with women. That's not the solution to this. The solution to this is to find a good woman, and then have good children. That's what fixes this mess. Many good children.
I'm like, women aren't that complicated. We really aren't that complicated. This is what we need to hear.
Yeah,
I'm going to protect you. I'm going to provide for you, and we're going to do this together. And that's it.
Yep,
that's it.
And let's have a whack of
and
kids.
That's right. To have many children, as many as you can have in the shortest amount of time you can. That's the advice I give.
That's how you fix the culture. It's kids.
Yeah,
it's kids.
Yeah. So yeah, don't give up yet, boys. Don't give up yet. Okay.
Jess and GP goes on to say, because all the good ones like Sheila and Lisa are taken.
Oh, well.
Well, all right.
But you can spend time with them.
They're out there. Yeah, they're out there. Okay, this is from Libs of TikTok. A brave student from New Richmond High School in Wisconsin blasts the school board for allowing boys to invade girls' bathrooms in sports.
Let's go, babe.
Let's go, girl.
I'm a senior at New Richmond High School. I've thought a lot about what to say tonight. All I've ever asked for is to be able to have safety and privacy in bathrooms and locker rooms, and fairness in my sport. That's it. This was never just about a bathroom. The same rule that lets a boy into girls' bathrooms lets a boy onto girls' teams. I am not alone, not in Wisconsin or in America. The voice of girls have risen so high it reached the Supreme Court on June 30th. The highest court in the land ruled that Title IX is biological sex, not gender identity. And the way I see it, that's just common sense. Gender identity is a feeling. Title IX doesn't protect feelings, it protects girls.
Yeah.
This board told us that the Supreme Court ruling would guide your decision. Title IX would matter, and still, nothing but another broken promise. I thought you guys would have to do the right thing, but once again, I was wrong to believe that you actually care about real girls. You have lawyers in federal court asking a judge to throw our case out before anybody has to hear a word of it. And I read what your side filed. It says the Supreme Court left this up to the states. It says Wisconsin hasn't decided. And it says this district chooses not to protect girls. Chooses. That's their word, not mine. So every time somebody in this room says your hands are tied, your own lawyers already told a federal judge that isn't true. Your plans for us. It's written down. More single-stall bathrooms. And you'll excuse us for being late to class. A hall pass. That's it. That's what the adults came up with. A boy is in our locker room, and your answer is that we don't get in trouble for being tardy. I stopped using the bathroom in my own school. I've had people threaten my life. I turned 17 while strangers online talked about what they'd like to do to me. And some of the adults who work in this building joined in on it. Here's the truth. You already know I'm right. Most of the girls in this school feel the way I do. If you didn't know that, you wouldn't be so secretive. I know voices would be louder if they weren't intimidated by the haters who support most of them. The messages, the names, the threats. Grown adults, people who work in this district, people are supposed to look out for me and for us. Going online to go after a teenager who is asking for privacy. It's pretty gross, actually. But somebody has to stand up. And that somebody is going to be me. I can take it. I'd rather take it than have some 14-year-old freshman too scared to speak up in her own school. And what makes all of this so stupid is how easy it was. One student wanted a private bathroom. This school has 4 of them. One of them is usually for the teachers in the teacher's lounge.
That's
Give him
enough.
one.
I think
every other girl
on.
keeps what she's had.
But man,
it's a 3-minute long clip. It's on Libs of TikTok. I recommend you watch it. What a brave girl, just handing the school board their ass in front of everybody for their broken promises. So do not lose hope, young men.
That's right, because good, decent young women are out there. Many of them in Lampman, Saskatchewan.
Yes.
Do let me just my next piece, part 2 of No Balls in Women's Stalls in Saskatchewan. We're going to hear from female students just like this. And what they say reveals everything. It's how girls are treated when gender is prioritized in schools and public institutions. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. I just can't wait.
Yes, it's in production right now.
Sure is.
I think that's the show for today. Lise, thanks so much. And special thanks to our friend Corey Morgan.
Oh, Corey Morgan is a peach every time we see him, like every single time. And you are a treasure, Sheila Gunry. Thanks so much for having me. And we'll see you next Tuesday. We will. I'll be back. I'll be back next Tuesday.
All right. Thanks, Efron, Olivia. Everybody's working behind the board to put the show together, and everybody who makes sure it's available for you wherever you want to watch it. Those of you who interact with our content, it's a great free way to help us out. We're working on getting to 2 million subscribers. We're super close. So as always, talk it over with your friends, neighbors, doctors, see if it's right for you. Thanks to those of you who pitched in a little bit to keep the lights on here at Rebel News. We're back tomorrow. I think it's myself and Tamara Ugolini. Lise, see you next Tuesday. And to everybody else, if you find us offensive, maybe don't find us at all. Funny.